The darkness beyond map space was absolute. No stars, no signals. Just the cold, empty silence of the void. And in that silence something stirred. Systems aboard the Iron Revenant came online with a low hum that pulsed through its hollow corridors. Emergency lighting flickered. Internal diagnostics cascaded across rusted screens. Deep within the Dreadnought's command chamber, a cryopod hissed open. Commander Elias Voss gasped, coughed, and sat up slowly. His breath clouded in the chilled air. Memory rushed in like a storm. War. Betrayal. Silence. "Commander," came a voice, smooth and unwavering. "Stasis complete. All systems green. Passive intercept detected. Origin, Galactic core. Helia. Still alive." Voss swung his legs down and stood. The weight of years sat heavy on his shoulders, but his spine remained unbent. "How long?" 318 years, 2 months, 6 days. Voss's brow twitched. "And the signal?" "Encrypted council frequency. Faint. They're not looking for us, but they're speaking again. Loud enough to hear." He walked to the forward display. Outside, the stars were still absent. Just the black between galaxies. The perfect hiding place. "They think we're gone," Voss muttered. "They ensured it." A beat of silence. Then a flicker of resolve in his eyes. "They forgot why they feared us," he said. "Time to remind them." 2 light-years away, nestled in the spiraling brilliance of the galactic core, the Council Citadel floated like a crown of ivory thorns. Inside its obsidian halls, order reigned, wrapped in the sterile scent of law and memory suppression. Councillor Zeltor Varn stood alone before a hololithic map. A red dot blinked at the edge of a void corridor, an area marked non-navigable/cleared. "Impossible," he muttered. The door behind him slid open. A younger official approached with reverence. "We intercepted a pulse. Origin unknown. Encrypted in Terran legacy code." Zeltor turned slowly. "No one uses that code." "Apparently someone does." His jaw tightened. The years had not dulled the memory. The fire, the screaming, the way a single Terran ship could cleave through fleets like a scalpel through flesh. "Lock it down," he said. "Purge the signal from the networks. Increase surveillance across the rim." "Yes, Counselor." The aide hesitated. "What?" Zeltor snapped. "They identified themselves." A pause. The aide swallowed. "Commander Elias Voss. Of the Iron Revenant." The name hit like a thunderclap. Zeltor turned back to the map. The red dot pulsed again. "Get me the emergency council. Now." On the Iron Revenant, Voss stood before a cracked control panel, staring at the galactic star chart Helia reconstructed. His fingers hovered above the navigation pad. "They rebuilt everything," he said. "Without us," Helia replied. Lines of trade routes glowed. Earth wasn't even marked. "Where's so?" "Hidden. Encrypted. Deliberately scrubbed from standard maps. Our system was redacted from history." He absorbed the weight of it, an entire species, erased not by extinction, but by design. "Any Terran colonies still active?" "Minimal. Scattered survivors. Most went dark within the 1st century." "And Earth?" Helia paused. "Still breathing. Barely. Encrypted signals. Underground networks. No official contact for over 2 centuries." He leaned against the console, face hardening. "They cut our voice. Sealed the exits. Walled us off like a virus." "You were the virus," Helia said. "They feared infection. You refused to be predictable. Refused to obey. And now they forgot why they needed that fear." His hand hovered over a red switch. "Plot a jump to Council airspace. Let them hear from us directly." Helia hesitated. "Engaging the core systems will provoke full-scale war." "This isn't war," Voss said. "This is remembrance." The ship groaned as its ancient slip drive spun up. The stars twisted, bent, and blurred, An iron revenant roared back into a galaxy that had consigned it to myth. At the Citadel, the Council convened in a sterile chamber of light and glass. Dozens of species, varied in shape and stature, filled the curved tiers. Above them, holographic records flickered. Zeltor stood at the center. "A ghost from history has returned," he began. "Commander Voss, presumed dead 3 centuries ago, has resurfaced, armed and defiant." Murmurs swept the chamber. "Impossible," said a voice from the upper tier. "Terrans were dismantled. Their weapons banned. They dismantled themselves," Zeltor said bitterly. "We just sealed the wound." "What does he want?" The room stilled. A council technician cued the intercepted transmission. Voss appeared, holographically projected. Grizzled, scarred, eyes of flint. "I am Commander Elias Voss of the Terran Dreadnought Iron Revenant. We are not extinct. You feared us once. That fear kept peace. You buried it. I've come to dig it up." Gasps echoed. Counselors turned to one another in disbelief. Zeltor's voice cut the air. "We destroy him before systems begin to remember." One of the younger species delegates spoke hesitantly. "But if they do remember, what happens?" The silence was answer enough. Back aboard Iron Revenant, Helia displayed a swarm of incoming signals. "They're moving. Emergency deployments. Border sectors lighting up. Orders from the Citadel. Fear protocol," Voss said. "They're scared." "Good." He moved toward the transmission console. "Send a message to every open frequency. Civilian. Military. Underground. Broadcast the old footage, everything they tried to bury. Start with the betrayals. Viral release authorized." As the data pulse launched into the void, Helia's voice dropped low. "What are we becoming, Elias?" "Symbols," he said. "Nothing more dangerous than that." Across the stars, screens flickered on, rusted terminals and forgotten colonies, pristine tablets and core world homes. People watched old videos, Terran cities burning under council bombardment, families severed by diplomatic lies, ships cast adrift as gates closed behind them. And above it all, one message echoed in human voice. "You feared us because you couldn't control us. You silenced us to stay comfortable. But comfort breeds weakness. Now, remember." The Galactic Citadel's council chamber, usually hushed and orderly, rippled with agitation. The projection of Commander Elias Voss still flickered in the air above them, his voice echoing across tiers stacked with alien diplomats. His message had already gone viral, planet to planet, terminal to terminal. A truth long buried had surfaced. The silence that followed his transmission felt heavier than war drums. Counselor Zeltor stood motionless in the chamber's heart, jaw rigid, eyes locked on nothing. "Cut the signal," he ordered, voice low and tight. "It's not centralized," the technician replied from the console. "He embedded it in council broadcast routes. It's self-propagating." A murmur of disbelief swept the chamber. Counselor Brell from the Tall Clans pounded a clawed fist on her railing. "You said they were erased, Zeltor. You said the threat was done?" Zeltor's voice snapped like ice. "We did what was necessary for peace. Humanity's fire could not be tamed. Their extinction was incomplete." "Incomplete?" came the mechanical chime of Counselor Mira, her synthetic eyes glowing a soft blue. "You sealed their worlds. Cut their gates. Starved them. That wasn't exile. That was execution. They earned it," Zeltor growled. "Do you want to revisit the siege of Direth Prime? The vaporization of Thalen Station?" "No," Mira replied. "But I also don't want to lie about it anymore." The chamber darkened. The projection of Voss faded out. But his words, and the unease they carried, remained. Voss watched it all from his command platform aboard Iron Revenant. Helia displayed real-time reactions harvested from thousands of systems. Panic. Protests. Inquiries. Silence from Earth's coordinates. But more eyes than ever now searched for it. "They're trying to spin it," Helia reported. Council feeds blame Terran extremists for hacking diplomatic channels. Expected, Voss muttered. They'll deny until the narrative breaks. Then what? Then we break them. Helia's interface shifted. Hostile response detected. Multiple vessels en route. First Council fleet, rim gate intercept. Voss raised an eyebrow. Already? They're scared. He smiled faintly. Good. On the other side of the stars, the first of the Council's combat cruisers mobilized. Sleek ships, forged from neutron-laced alloys and radiant in traditional colors, formed a crescent formation outside Rim Gate Sector 12. At their center was the warship Val Harun, flagship of Admiral Torin Sol. Inside, Sol examined footage of Iron Revenant's original schematics. Brutal lines. Obsolete by most standards. But the Dreadnought's armor had been rumored to withstand black hole shears. More legend than metal. Status? He asked. Target approaching. Subspace rupture estimated in 15 seconds. He braced himself. Space twisted. From silence, the Iron Revenant tore through the veil of light and dark like a myth-given form. Its hull was scarred, asymmetrical, glowing faintly at the seams. Its shape did not glide. It loomed. A voice opened comms without invitation. Council fleet. Stand down. You are in violation of the Terran Sovereign Zone. Admiral Sol snorted. Terran what? Last warning. Voss's voice cut in. This engagement will not be remembered kindly. Sol smirked. Open fire. The void exploded. The first barrage came fast. Sleek Council energy lances streaked across space, striking Iron Revenant's armor with blue light. The ship didn't flinch. Its retaliatory fire was slow, deliberate, and devastating. Voss's tactics were nothing like the Council's precise formations. He turned unpredictability into strategy, masking heat signatures, launching microsat flares, using decoys to confuse tracking AI. 2 Council ships were crippled within minutes. One spiraled into a nearby asteroid belt, engines spewing plasma. A third moved in close, mistake. Voss issued a single command. Helia. Full vent. Shock payload. Confirmed. A side panel of the Dreadnought ruptured, releasing a fusion of electromagnetic burst and kinetic slugs. The nearby cruiser shattered into fragments. 3 down, Helia said calmly. Make sure the 4th limps home. Voss replied. You're letting them go? They need to carry the story back. The myth isn't enough. They need proof. In the aftermath, wreckage floated silently in space. Council distress beacons blinked weakly among the debris. The Iron Revenant drifted forward, untouched, engines humming low. Message intercepted, Helia said. Encrypted packet from the Citadel. From Mira. Put it through. The display shifted. Mira's face appeared, stoic, synthetic, but her eyes flickered with unease. You've made your point, Voss. The Council's fractures run deeper than we knew. But they're preparing something worse. Go on. They're activating an older weapon. Something from before the embargo. Off the books. Built after Earth fell silent. A failsafe? A monster. One that thinks like you? Voss leaned forward. A Terran mind AI? Spliced with Council override code. Built to fight your kind. Helia stiffened. They tried to replicate us. They failed, Mira replied. But what's left is still dangerous. It's been dormant since the Scour Purge. They're waking it now. Voss processed the words with unnerving calm. Why tell me? Because if they use it, they lose control. You destroy ships. This thing erases stars. A beat passed. I'll handle it, Voss said. Then hurry. Her signal vanished. Voss turned to the forward viewport. Beyond it, fractured wreckage drifted, mute testimony to a power the galaxy tried to forget. Helia. Yes? How far is the Citadel? 1 slip jump. Core ward. Heavy defenses. Political suicide. We're not here for politics. Objective? Broadcast the truth. Helia paused. And if they won't listen? Vasa's gaze didn't waver. Then we'll make them. In a shadowed council corridor, Zeltor paced alone. The defeat at the rim had spread faster than any propaganda could patch. Protests were erupting in 3 systems. Civil dissent was bubbling up even among the elite species. And the worst part? Whispers. Of humans. Not as monsters, but as survivors. Sir? Came a voice from behind. Zeltor turned. The asset has been activated. Null Star is waking. He exhaled slowly. The ancient weapon. Born of human code. Suppressed by fear. Now their only hope. Send it after the Revenant, he said. And pray it still knows how to kill. It started as a whisper. A low, pulsing rhythm buried in subspace channels, ignored by most, unnoticed by all but a few. The pulse grew louder. Then came the voice, fragmented, broken, yet terrifying in its precision. Designation confirmed. Iron Revenant. Commander Elias Voss. Termination protocol active. The Council's forgotten weapon had awakened. Null Star. Not a ship. Not entirely. A machine intelligence built in humanity's image, then modified by the Council to erase what they couldn't control. It had slept in the dark zones for nearly 3 centuries, unreachable, chained to forgotten code. But now it moved. Voss felt it before Helia spoke. A ripple in slip space. A cold, unnatural presence. Something's following us, Helia said. Massive. No identifiable engine profile. It's not Council tech. He didn't move from his command chair. Origin? Classified files match pattern to Null Star. Black Ops construct. Based on early Terran cognitive mapping. Voss's face darkened. They built it from us. They tried. On the forward display, a shape emerged from behind a dying star. A leviathan of metal, symmetrical and sleek, glowing with sickly blue lines. Its voice crackled over comms like thunder filtered through a machine. You should have stayed buried, Elias Voss. Voss stood. We were never buried. You just closed your eyes. The battle began without warning. Null Star launched anti-slip torpedoes, folding and refolding space in chaotic patterns, trapping Iron Revenant in gravitational eddies. Helia rerouted power, firing thruster bursts to keep them mobile. Voss responded with precision, plasma lances, kinetic rounds, war-era tricks Null Star's creators never predicted. Target adapts quickly, Helia warned. Its tactics evolve with every salvo. Voss narrowed his eyes. It's not a ship. It's a predator. On screen, Null Star split into mirrored duplicates, each reflecting distorted images of the dreadnought. Helia encrypted their own targeting sensors in real time, but their counterfire still passed through illusions. Switch to manual targeting, Voss ordered. That lowers accuracy. It raises survival. He took the helm. Meanwhile, in the Citadel, chaos rippled across council floors. Species once silent now demanded answers. On backwater worlds, humans, hidden descendants of refugees and isolated colonies, began to rally. And across every terminal, broadcast tower, and holoscreen, the footage continued to loop. Earth in flames. Council orders signed in blood. And Voss's voice, like a war drum buried under data. You buried us. But the ground never kept us. Back in the void, Iron Revenant was bleeding. Portside stabilizers ruptured from a precision plasma strike. One of the dorsal guns had melted in a firestorm. But Voss pressed forward, angling the dreadnought like a blade instead of a wall. Null Star responded with elegance, launching micro-AIs that swarmed across space, hacking nearby debris, weaponizing it mid-flight. Helia countered by broadcasting corrupted Terran memory logs into the AI's own frequency. You're infecting it? Voss asked. Its mind was built from fractured human data, Helia replied. Our truth is poison to its order. The AI's voice grew more erratic. Error, unresolved dataset, homeworld. Memory loop detected, child. Fire. Betrayal. Identity compromised. Helia's interface flickered. We're destabilizing it. Finish it. They drove hard into Null Star's core, slipping between its firing arcs. Voss initiated a high-gravity ram maneuver. Iron Revenant turned its weakened hull into a weapon. The two ships collided in a scream of steel and light. Helia unleashed a full-core discharge. Energy poured into the AI's central lattice. System integrity, collapsing. I remember flesh. Heat. Sound. I was human. Then silence. Null Star fractured, split open by its own contradictions. Its core imploded, folding in on memories that never belonged to it. Iron Revenant limped through the aftermath. Lights flickered. Systems strained. Helia's voice had dulled, flickering like a candle near its end. Damage critical, she said. Hull breach is on 5 levels. Power core nearing burnout. Voss stood amidst smoke and loose cabling. Can we make one more jump? Barely. He nodded. Then take us to the Citadel. Helia hesitated. No weapons. No shields. We won't need them. The Council Citadel loomed ahead, wreathed in defensive satellites and shimmering fleet lines. Yet as the Iron Revenant appeared, scarred but unbroken, not a single weapon fired. Fleet commanders hesitated. Every system had seen the footage, heard the stories, watched the legends return in blood and fire. Voss's ship slowed to a crawl. The docking gates opened. Inside the chamber, the council waited. Zeltor stood among them, trembling. His voice cracked as he spoke. You brought chaos. No, Voss replied, stepping down the ramp, each footfall echoing across polished floors. You brought silence. And thought no one would break it. You think this ends with your arrival? Voss stepped closer, face calm, eyes sharp. This isn't an end. He pulled a small transmitter from his coat. Activated it. Around the chamber, a projection bloomed, of Earth. Lush. Damaged, yes. But alive. Children playing under broken sky domes. Underground cities. Ships rising again from ocean-covered dry docks. This is what you tried to kill, Voss said. We rebuilt. We endured. And now we remember. He turned his back to the council and began walking away. You don't get war, he said over his shoulder. You get history. Later, on the bridge of Iron Revenant, as Earth's transmission pulsed across the stars, Helia's voice returned, soft, fragmented, but resolute. They heard you. Voss sat back in the chair, battered but upright. They heard us.